Hey everyone, this is Max Portnoy from Next to None, and you're watching Moho.com. Well, the start of the band was kind of a long time ago now. The band's been around for about 6 years-ish. And we started just by like kind of jamming and stuff, and we did some covers around like the area, just some cover shows and stuff. And then when I met Thomas, who's the keyboard slash keyboard, he's vocals and keyboard, sorry. And so me and him just kind of started writing ideas together, and we really hit it off, and I really had fun like writing songs with him. So we decided to like actually form an original band, and kind of as the years went on, we got more serious with it, and that's when the first album came out, Late in the Dark. We really were like knew that that's what we wanted to do with like our career and like what we wanted to do the rest of our life. So that's kind of how we started. And then recently we got a new guitar player. His name's Derek Schneider, and he's great. And this is our first, not our first tour with him. We just did one with Hagen, but it's basically like 1 year ago today is when we like met with him. It was around this time, so it's really cool. We've had him for like a year, and he's a shredder, and he does all the heavy stuff that we wanted. And as for like influences and stuff, it's cool because all of us kind of have the same musical background, even though we didn't like know each other our whole life. I mean, I knew Chris my whole life, and me and him would always listen to like Slipknot and Dream Theater and System of a Down and Korn, all that stuff. And when I met Thomas, he was actually into the same kind of stuff, like Dream Theater, and same with Derek. He was into the same kind of band, so it was really cool that we are all into progressive metal and all that stuff when we met each other. No, the writing was all done by me and Thomas, and he's always there if we need, like, if we have questions or stuff, but he's not a writer. And with the first album, he produced it, so we wrote all the stuff, and then we did pre-production with him, and that'd be like him kind of tweaking things since he's producing it, but not really writing. Like, he wasn't coming in with riffs and things. So yeah, all the writing's done by us. And for this newest album, we self-produced it, the four of us. So it was interesting because the first album, like, we were in someone else's studio, and we had my dad producing it, so he kind of got to make the executive calls and stuff. But then this one, we recorded it in Thomas's home studio, and we produced it ourselves. So we kind of were able to take as long as we wanted because we weren't paying someone to stay in their place, and it was interesting. So it took about like 5 or 6 months to get the whole album done, but we're really proud and excited for what we got. The newest album, Phases, is a lot heavier than the first album, and I would even say it's even more progressive. It's kind of like, with the first album, we were just kind of experimenting, and like it was our first time writing and stuff, so we kind of went into the progressive metal like genre, but then we kind of like, it was just kind of like starting out and figuring out what we could do with it, and now we were like really comfortable, knew the direction that we wanted to go in, so it's kind of like more of everything we had on the first album. It's a lot heavier, and I would say the playing's even more technical and stuff, and there's way more odd time signatures and all that good stuff, and a lot more dynamics on this album, and like tons of other different feels and styles we even incorporated. Like there's like a blues section and like a surfery kind of section in one of the songs, and there's dubstep and all this weird stuff that we experimented with, so it's definitely like more of everything that we did on the first album. Now, that was something we talked about though. Towards the end of recording, we were talking about maybe getting someone to guest, maybe like a guest vocalist or something. So yeah, it was definitely talked about, but we ended up just keeping it the four of us because we wanted to just do something that was just us. Same with like producing, since we self-produced it and recorded it on our own. We were just like, we'll just keep it, the four of us. Whereas the last album we had Bumblefoot and Neil Morse on it. So who knows if in the future we'll get someone to guest, because it's not like we didn't want it, but it was like kind of already so late when we thought about it. We were like, yeah, well, if we want to do it, we'll do it next album or something.
He's king of the island. He's king of the island. He's on.
Yeah, that was like when we were going into it and writing it. We were like, we wanted to just write enough music to fill up the CD. We didn't want to like just do a couple songs and leave it for like a short album. We were like, we want to have all this music since we have this new album coming out. It's just good to always just get a lot of music out there. So we even had 2 extra songs that we ended up having to cut because we physically couldn't fit it on the CD. So I don't know what will happen with them. They'll probably get released at some point. But yeah, it was definitely something we wanted to do. And we ended up even after cutting some sections out of the songs because it was getting too long and it couldn't fit on the disc. So yeah, I just love being able to write that much music and put it out there. On stage, we haven't really done a duet or something, but Sabian just released a video of us playing together and just talking about different things. So that was like the first thing we were able to do together. It's like us playing on one of his kits and just jamming together. So that's up on YouTube somewhere, and that's kind of like the only thing you can like find. I mean, we're always playing together like at our house, but we haven't done anything live performance kind of thing yet. But it would definitely be something fun that we'd want to do sometime.
When you're down on your knees, you can't see what's all.
His name is Todd Sheed, and he works at this place called the California Drum Shop. It's in Pennsylvania, like right where I live. And he's great. He's been teaching me like my entire life. Basically up like still to this day. Like I took some time off over the summer and because I was just getting so booked with Next to None's doing all these tours, so I haven't been able to really stay with him. But I plan on going back, and he teaches me literally anything. Like he'll teach me like from prog stuff to metal stuff to jazz, Brazilian, like all these different styles, and it's awesome. And he'll show me all polyrhythms and all this cool stuff. So he's been the one teaching me. And then like I can go to my dad and he'll show me different fills or little things that I can do, but he's not really my teacher. It would just be impossible since he's always touring, and now with me, doing my stuff, we never really have time to do a lesson or something. So yeah, just it's been me and Todd for like practically my whole life. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. From all like the albums I listen to, that's definitely like one of the best ways to practice is like pick an album or something that you love and then try playing along to it. It really like helps learning different things. Like I used to play along to like tons of Dream Theater and Slipknot albums and Lamb of God, and it really helps to be able to hear what they were doing, and once you can replicate that. You can it really improves your playing, and it's definitely a good way to practice and learn new things. I think if I had more time to practice, I think I could, because I haven't actually sat down and learned all the songs he's doing here. I know a couple of them, like The Glass Prison and The Dance of Eternity. I can do those ones and probably do Repentance too, so I can do those ones. As for the other ones, I'd have to listen to them a little bit and practice them. But say like tomorrow, he was like he couldn't do it. I'd only be able to do like half the set. So yeah. It's kind of both, to be honest. Like it's great to have a dad who's like in the music industry already and already has like a name and is well known by everyone, because now he can when he's just being a supportive dad, he can post it on his pages and stuff, and it helps us get out to a bunch of different people. So that's always the good part. But there's tons of people that are don't even listen to it because they just are I don't know if it's jealous or that they just don't want to listen to Mike Portnoy's son or something. So there are people like that. But then again, like I was saying, because there's so many people that my dad can reach out to, there's tons of people that listen to it and they like it. Like, for example, today in Paris, I was saying, there's all those people outside that knew who we were. I'm sure a lot of them were fans of my dad that, you know, found out about us through him. So it's great to be able to have someone like that supporting us.